Okay, so Jacob is really mad right now. You understand why. He worked in Genesis chapter 29 for 7 years to marry this girl, Rachel, that he was madly in love with. I mean, to the point that working for her for 7 years seemed like no time at all. And here he is, now with a different wife. He's married to Leah, the other daughter, who the Bible described as having dull eyes. Whatever, I mean, that's an interesting description. Feel bad for her. So when you look at this, I think God uses Laban to correct Jacob, to discipline him, to kind of change his thoughts about things, because this is kind of an eye for an eye situation. Just as Jacob has spent time tricking people, now he's the one that was deceived from top to bottom. And God doesn't throw Jacob out, when these deceptions and sins happen with Esau and Isaac. He simply disciplines him. He works to make him the man that he needs to be to carry on the promise, to carry on the covenant, to carry on this move towards a nation and eventually towards a Messiah in Jesus Christ. So he's really upset. I understand why, but God has a purpose. And I want to look at verses 26 through 30. It says there, this is Laban. It's not our custom here to marry off a younger daughter ahead of the firstborn, Laban replied. But wait until the bridal week is over, and then we'll give you Rachel too, provided you promise to work another 7 years for me. What a jerk. He had already worked the 7 years for Rachel. He's given the wrong daughter, and now he says, well, I'll give her to you as well, but you've got to agree to work another 7 years. 14 years working as a servant with no wages for this girl. She better have been pretty. Goodness. I mean, it was tough. But he agrees. Verse 28. So Jacob agreed to work 7 more years. A week after Jacob married Leah, Laban gave him Rachel too. Laban gave Rachel a servant, Bilhah, to be her maid. So Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her much more than Leah. He then stayed and worked for Laban for an additional 7 years. So Laban makes this excuse, about, well, that's not our custom. Sorry, it's not your custom. You made an agreement. You entered a contract and you broke it. You were deceptive. Laban was wrong. He said the first time Laban's been wrong, it won't be the last time that Laban will be wrong in what he does. So Jacob here is being done wrong, but Jacob's done other people wrong too, and God's using it. But here's who I feel bad for in this situation. I feel bad for Leah, I feel bad for Rachel, and I do feel bad for Jacob. This is not a good dynamic for a family in any form or fashion. Here we not only have the issue of polygamy, which never turns out well. There is no instance in the Bible where polygamy turns out well for anybody. It causes nothing but problems in David's life. It causes nothing but problems in Solomon's life. It causes nothing but problems in Jacob's life. It's just a wreck. The women are affected, the men are affected, the children are affected. It's bad. So think about how Leah feels here. To know that your husband doesn't really love you near as much as he loves his other wife. Think about the jealousy that Rachel will have towards Leah and any attention that she gets, and vice versa. Think about the way that Jacob is going to be pulled in these different directions. There's such a crazy dynamic here with not only Jacob having multiple wives, but those wives being sisters. What a mess. And trust me, this mess will be bearing fruit for many, many years to come. And we'll see that as we continue in Genesis.